And one of the great early day players in the NBA. Michael comes in leading the league in scoring with an average of 29. He had 40 against New Jersey. And Chicago, 7 straight games in the victory column, 6 straight on the road. They're almost as tough at home as they on the road as they are at home in Chicago.
Having a great year, just a great year.
The Bullets hoping to end their little many 2-game losing streak, and Eccles gets the tip, and we're underway at the Cap Center. Johnny Holiday along with Phil Chenier. Michael Adams working in Paxson. Grant against Grant tonight. Harvey against Horace. The two twins. Eccles, nice move, uses the glass. 2-0 Bullets.
Boy, he started off active. First of all, he ran that chip down and beat Scottie Pippen to that, and then he hits the first basket. He's off to at least some good signs we see initially from Liddell.
And Pippen certainly with something to prove tonight after having an off night against New Jersey. Cartwright misses the lead-in jumper, tipped away once and twice, and Bullets come up with the ball.
Boy, loose balls are really going to tell the story here.
Wide open jumper, 4-0 Bullets. Eccles with 2. Still some fans coming into the Capitol Center, not yet in their seats to enjoy this one. 4-0 Washington. Michael hasn't touched the ball yet. And this is not the kind of night fans want to venture out, but he'll bring them in out of the rain and snow and whatever else there is.
Jordan gets that first 2. Usually we've been used to seeing Michael Jordan pass the ball to his teammates, not so much look for a shot early on.
Adams with a miss. The rebound, Cartwright. Out left to Michael. Down the left side. David Wingate has the task of trying to shut down or contain him and hook him from the outside.
Just inside the three-point line, that's the area that he's made himself that much more deadly to opponents.
And quickly the Bulls tie it up at 4-all. Eccles quickly takes the shot and hits it before Pippen gets there. Scotty about 4 feet away from him.
Well, I tell you what, he's going to get Pippen's attention pretty soon. If not, Phil Jackson's going to make sure that he does. Liddell's hit his first 3 shots, off to a great start.
Foul down low against the Bullets, and it's going to be whistled against Purvis Ellison.
You know, there may be something that stems over from the last meeting. Like I said, Pippen really embarrassed him on a couple of occasions, going backdoor. Liddell struggled from the field.
Jordan in the rhythm. He's got 2 long jumpers, and Chicago ties it at 6. Wasunso telling one of the officials, putting his shoulder into him before he makes the move. Here's Jordan down the far side. Lost the dribble. Paxson picks it up. You know, Phil, it's so important for a normal player to get off to a good start. For a guy like Jordan, he can be cold and all of a sudden just control the game.
Well, he can take his time. He knows he's going to get his 20 shots each game.
Pippen barely got it off before the shot clock expired. Jordan trying for the steal. Wingate to Ellison. Nice pass, layup goal.
Good heads-up play from David Wingate. The Bullets do want to push the ball up, look for those opportunities to get the numbers down court on Chicago.
And the Bullets with a 2-point lead. Cartwright to Pippen, left of the lane, faking Eccles once and bangs it off the glass for his second field goal.
Although the Bullets want to play team defense, I'm not so sure Liddell can afford to really help out that much. He's going to have to stay close to Pippen.
Adams against Paxson. Wingate to Eccles again, faking the shot. Wingate short off the iron. Pippen there to get the rebound for Chicago. First quarter, 8.5 to go, and we're tied at 8. And Wingate called with a foul on Scottie Pippen. Philly, you played some pretty fair defense in your day when you were suiting up for the Bullets. What would you do against Michael Jordan?
Boy, that's a tough question there, Johnny. No, I think what you try and do is change your defense as much as you can. He can do so many things, but you try and hand check him as much as the officials will allow. Then you back off of him just slightly because he has a tremendous first step. But the more you can keep the ball out of his hand, the better off you'll be. But of course, he has the capability of going back door, getting the lob. There's just so many options. So you have to vary and change. You have to almost play defense like anybody else plays offense, and that is set the tone yourself.
That explains it.
I don't know how
I often wondered how you could do that. Now I have a better understanding. 10-8. Now it's tied with a Wingate drive.
Well, the problem is pulling it off.
You're right. Easier said than done. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan have all the Chicago points. They've taken all the Chicago shots in the first quarter. Tied again for the fourth time. Jordan from the right corner. Finally misses. Grant gets a rebound.
That's the one area you really got to watch. You got to punch Grant off the offensive boards.
Well, it's the Pippen and Jordan show for Chicago, and they take a 2-point lead at 12-10. Adams. Now to David Wingate, former Georgetown Hoya star. Georgetown beating South Florida today in the NCAA tournament. Here's Jordan going to work against Wingate. Gets the Cartwright screen. Michael fires, and boy, he is on fire.
Hey, what? We're seeing some good shooting both ways.
Jordan has only missed once. He's got 6 of the Chicago 14. Bulls lead it by 4. First 3 meetings between these two teams, Chicago won all 3. Good move. Purvis on the baseline. Stays right with it. Misses, and Jordan, who'll give you some good rebounds. He gets about 6 a game. Gets one there.
Purvis does have the foot speed. If he can get himself about 6 or 7 feet away from the basket and turn around and face Cartwright, he should be able to get around him pretty regularly.
Action from Notre Dame. Adams from Boston College. Ball on the floor. Eccles kicks it away. Adams has it. Spins. 2-on-2. Michael takes it and can't hit it. Eccles with a good hustle for the rebound and the follow. Won't fall and Pippen rebound. And then knocked away by Adams. Eccles fires the pass to Michael from 10. Yes, right side.
Good hustle from the 2 guards. Michael Adams and Liddell Eccles. And Liddell continues to play with some real intensity.
Bill, if the Bullets can continue the way they're playing, this could be an interesting night here at the Cap Center.
I think so, but as I said, the loose balls, the little things are going to really help them and give them a chance to win this game.
Bullets trying to tie. Wingate inside to Ellison. They're deadlocked at 14. Well, West has got to be pleased. They're running the court extremely well.
Making the right decision, making good passes, very few turnovers, if any.
Jordan again from the outside. Oh. He likes that spot. Right side of the top of the key.
That's another thing. You talk about what you can do when a player starts hitting from a certain area. You certainly try and make him take a shot from another part of the court.
Speaking of shots, as the Bulls lead by 2, Michael has missed only 1 with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Ellison with a jump shot. All of Chicago's points and shots from 2 players, Jordan and Pippen.
That's right, and they've done quite well on the shots that they've had. Bullets have to force the ball into somebody else's hand.
Bulls have a 2-point lead. The Bullets are shooting 50%, 7-14. First quarter, 4:56 to go. Johnny Holiday along with Phil Chenier. Jordan again working, and he finally misses. Ellison, nobody around him, gets the rebound. Nice pass from Adams to Wingate. Look at that move against Jordan.
Good hustle from Liddell. I tell you, Liddell is really playing with fire in his eyes. He's looking for every opportunity to rebound the ball, playing tough defense. He's forced Pippen to make some tough shots.
John Paxson from Notre Dame. Michael Jordan, of course, played at North Carolina. He'll be in the Olympic team. Jumper from the deep right corner by Grant is no good, but he gets his own rebound.
At least you know somebody else can shoot the ball, huh?
It's the first time. How does Jackson say, oh, 2-man game? Well, Paxson takes another shot, so at least 4 of the 5 have taken shots for Chicago. Adams gives it up to Ellison. Good matchup with Michael Adams and John Paxson. Wingate goes around Jordan. Nice move by
Jordan anticipated David to pull up a little short of the basket. David took it strong all the way and put it in off the glass.
This is the 5th tie of this ball game here in the first quarter. Jordan, Cartwright over Ellison. Pippen with a rebound, and the follow is good. Well, Pippen already tonight has 8 points. He's got 10, I beg your pardon. He only had 7 against New Jersey. Certainly, Scotty's been struggling, shooting only 30% the last 3 games. 4 rebounds for Pippen, just as important as his points.
Well, I tell you, great players always never think of the pessimistic side, but only the positive, and certainly Scottie Pippen falls in that category.
And Phil, he has just elevated his game the last couple of years particularly.
Yeah.
Grant against Grant. Nice move as Harvey strips Horace. And Wingate at the other end scores off the break.
I'll tell you, one of the things we're seeing, even though they're shooting very well, but Pippen and Jordan.
Well, Cartwright took it to the hoop, and he was fouled on the play. And we'll go to the foul line. First free throw attempt for either team.
One of the things that Phil Jackson has to be concerned about is some of the other players really are not touching the ball. Cartwright, I think that's his first shot, spins and gets the draw. There's a nice move from David Wingate, but both Pippen and Jordan really monopolizing the ball to some degree, and I think that Pippen, Jackson would probably want to see the ball move around just a little bit more.
I said the first time to the foul line, Pippen has hit 2. Cartwright gives Chicago a 1-point lead. Foul was on Harvey Grant. Cartwright comes away 1 of 2 at the line. Tickets lead for either team in the first quarter, and the Bullets jumped off to a 4-0 lead. 7 ties already. 2:46 remaining in the first. Eccles.
I think Liddell may have gotten an extra step, but it certainly worked to his favor. It made a nice move, and you know, one of the best ways to force somebody to work defensively, offensively, is to make them work defensively.
Well, Eccles has 8 points already in the first quarter on a 10-point-a-game average.
Good save by Liddell.
He'll fire from deep left corner. In and out. Scottie Pippen for Chicago across the timeline. 5 rebounds for Pippen here in the first quarter. Jordan free over Wingate. Misses, punched out right in the hands of Michael. Free on the left baseline is Pippen. Look at Allison Pippen, nowhere to reject it. And Wingate finishes it off at the other end.
Look at the numbers back. 4 on 2. Only Paxson and Michael Jordan back for Chicago.
And the Bullets take a 3-point lead, 22-19, and the fans at the Capitol Center give the Bullets a standing ovation. We'll come back in a moment. It did, didn't it? 10 points, 11 points the first quarter for Liddell Eccles. Bullets by 5. We start the second quarter. Jordan 4 of 7, Pippen 4 of 8, Liddell is 5 of 8. Smith tips it up right in the hands of Grant.
Good defense from Purvis Ellison with the long arms. He was able to at least affect the concentration of Pippen on that last shot.
Pippen on Grant. Out of Larry Stewart. Ellison going to work in Purdue. Smith shoots the...
that was a pass. It almost went in. The shot clock was down to 2 seconds.
B.J. Armstrong is 10 for the Bulls. Now to Pippen. Craig Hodges. Pass to Purdue, screen. Running one-hander. No good. Air ball. Ellison rebounds. Now to Smith. Bullets try to run again. 3 on 2. Nice pass. Good break. And the follow by Grant is good.
And you saw Larry Stewart lean in to make sure that he protected the ball. He really got fouled. There was no whistle, but Harvey following up.
Bullets now extend their lead to 7 here in the second quarter. Purdue looking for a passer. It goes inside to Horace Grant for his second field goal. And Grant is fouled. Take the basket away, no basket.
Wally Rooney called that before the basket. Nice pass from LaBradford Smith. And that's Harvey putting the ball back in.
Smith and Armstrong. BJ trying to get free with a screen from Harvey Grant. And Scottie Pippen right there in the right place for the rebound.
He does it all, averaging about 7.5 rebounds a game, and the second in that category for this team.
Ball with 14 points a game. Here's Armstrong faking down the lane. Boy, nice penetration. 2 tips and 1 go. Larry Stewart with a rebound for the Bullets. Ellison. English off the bench for the first score.
Just some great passing by the Bullets. That time Purvis got a great pass from LaBradford, but he got the assist to AJ.
Bullets by 9 in the second quarter. 9:41 to go, and the Bulls turn the ball over at the other end.
Well, this is the time the Bulls are out of sync. This is the time for the Bullets to try to extend that lead as best they can. Take advantage of it.
Outscoring Chicago 12-2 the last 5 minutes, and an offensive foul is called. First turnover also for the Bullets. As Michael Jordan comes back in, and you can retract what you just said. If you're going to take advantage of it, do it now with Jordan on the bench and he's back in.
And watch the left arm of LaBradford as Armstrong puts a little pressure on him. You see him fall back.
So Jordan comes in with Chicago trailing it by 9. And Michael in the fourth quarter with 8 points.
The Bulls have gone almost exclusively to the forwards and centers setting picks for the guards. A series of picks at that. They're going to have the guards are going to have to get some help.
Chicago cuts it to 7. Grant in the lane, banks it off the glass. It counts. He's fouled. He heads to the foul line. Jordan picks up the personal foul. That's his first.
Well, Jordan comes over this pick. He gets there a split second late, so really Harvey has the step on him and takes advantage of it.
And Harvey makes it a 3-point play. He's got 5 points. 33-23. Bullets by 10. First team fouled against Chicago. The Bullets have 1.
It's interesting that Phil Jackson has both Pippen and Jordan when they were in playing the forward spot now. Armstrong, who hit that shot, and Hodges are at the guard. Maybe he wants to take the ball away from them just a little bit so they can get some other people involved.
Which is what you have to do, or else everybody isolates on 1 or 2 players. Grant, this is the 15-footer, and Jordan with a rebound. That's his 4th here in the first half. Armstrong. Livingston's come in. He's 53 for Chicago. Took the basket away. And the foul against Smith. That's his second.
Well, the Bulls continue to run that little play where the forward sets the pick. You see Larry Stewart step back and allow L.A. through. But BJ's a very quick ball player, and he really turned the corner and kind of got the step on LaBradford.
Jordan with an average of 29 points a game. 6 rebounds as well, and shooting over 50% from the floor and 82% at the line. And that time the Bullets double team him, knock it away, but Livingston comes up with it for Chicago. That's a 3 from Armstrong. Another from Hodges. Gave him 2, not 3. 33-27. Now Chicago closes to within 6. Tempo has slowed down considerably too, Phil.
It has, particularly the Bulls, taking a lot of time off the clock to run their offense in the half court.
English has 2 field goals, 35-27 Bullets.
There goes those picks again, and again,
and again. And Hodges shoots off one and drills his second straight jump shot. 35-29, 6-point lead.
West one in the 22nd.
They're going to take a full timeout, I believe. Yes, Bullets called time with 7:09 remaining in the first half. Washington up 35-29 over Chicago. After jumping off to a 4-0 lead, led after 1:26-21. Watch the banging around down low.
Well, Phil Jackson has tried to get the ball into some other people's hands by putting Jordan and Pippen at the forward and setting these picks for guards. Now Livingston comes back, sets another pick for LeBradford after LeBradford fought through. They know that the Bullets really don't want to get those mismatches with a guard on the forward down low.
And the last shot you saw Armstrong take, nobody within 5 feet of him. The Bullets inside to Larry Stewart for the hoop.
Bullets continue to pass the ball extremely well. They pick the defense apart, and keep in mind this is one of the league's best defense, allowing under 100 points a game and holding opponents.
There's Jordan, baseline move, and he is fouled, and the basket counts. That's what the fans came to see, a move like that from Michael.
You can just imagine what his highlight film looks like. You have to have 3 or 4 reels. Hangs in the air, brings the ball away from the defense, draws the contact, and then puts it in off the glass.
And C.J. whistled with a foul. Jones comes out, as does Stewart. And LeBradford Smith. Adams goes in, along with English, Ellison, Grant, and Jordan at the line. Michael now with 11 points in this ball game.
Even though Michael was hitting those jumpers earlier, that's where you want to keep him. He can get those 3-point plays on you all night long, so you want to try to contain his driving.
Bullets by 5. Eccles gets Livingston where he wants him in the air, and Livingston commits the foul. Nice pump fake by Eccles.
This is the kind of matchup that Liddell has been seeing and really taking advantage of as of lately. The bigger forward that doesn't like to run around, Liddell using picks, gets Livingston up in the air, and what he does so well is get himself to the free throw line.
Eccles now with 12 points for the night, led all scorers the last 2 bullet contests against the Cavaliers and Lakers. 13 now.
I tell you, Liddell has really come out with a serious attitude and really been hustling. He's worked hard defensively and rebounding.
And of course, he could go free agent at the end of the season too, Phil. So you know he wants to impress certainly the Bullets brass with his play. Bullets by 7, 39-32. 6:20 to go in the first half.
That's that back door.
There it is.
Boy, Liddell pulled that one down.
Off the Armstrong miss, Ellison with Jordan on him. Whips the pass inside to Grant. Doesn't score. Look at Jordan release from his man to get the rebound. That's his 6th of the game. Hodges free from downtown. Got it from 3.
Well, they played to their strength right there. Hodges, one of the league's better 3-point shooters, just spots up, allows the defense to draw into Michael Jordan.
Bullets lead from 10 is cut down to 4. 39-35. English to Eccles. Foul line. Pass inside good. That was a pass, wasn't it, Phil?
We'll have to figure that one out. I'm sure by Liddell's response, that was a pass.
6. Now for A.J. 41-35.
I think everybody along this row is trying to figure out if that was a pass or a shot.
Jordan with a miss at Ellison. Right in front of Stacey King for the rebound for Washington. 5:11 to go. Adams down the lane. Running one-hander good. Back for Michael Adams. Only his 2nd field goal in this game.
Those are the opportunities that Michael likes to look for when they're in transition. No one can help. He has his man one-on-one.
Horace Grant set to come back in at the scorer's table for the Bulls. 43-35. 8-point lead again. Livingston with a nice pass feed from Jordan. Can't hit it. Gets his own rebound. Throws it up and draws the foul, but he misses the shot again. That's the way to stay with it, Cliff. Second personal foul called against the Bullets.
Well, the 2 areas that the Bullets really need to concentrate on and make sure that they have a consistent performance: offensive rebounds, giving up offensive rebounds, that is, and loose balls, coming up with those loose balls. Don't give the Bulls opportunities to score. They have the 2nd best field goal percentage team in the league. They shoot the ball with a high proficiency, and you don't want to allow them to have many opportunities.
All right, decide for yourself. Is this a pass I think
that was a shot. That's a heads-up play. It leads to a basket. So give him an assist.
Livingston misses. Last foul against the Bullets called on Purvis Ellison is second. And that call on Hodges is his first. And for Chicago, that's team foul number 2. The Bullets have 4.
Hey, all the Bullets are really playing with some intensity and maybe getting a little winded. And West is doing a good job of giving guys spell.
Getting some fresh bodies in there. 43-36 Bullets lead. Chicago. Alley-oop to Ellison. That caught with his back to the basket. And the Bullets maintain possession.
Whenever he and Michael Adams are in there, they look for that opportunity. And when he has his defensive forward really trying to push him out, you'll see it again, I'm sure, before this game's over, with Purvis spinning to the basket looking for the lob.
Under 4.5 to play in the first half. Wingate back in the ball game. Running one-hander against Jordan. No good, and Jordan with a rebound. 7 for Michael in the first half. Hitting King, streaking down the court. Ellison with a block. Great block.
When players are occupied with other people, Michael Adams 90% of the time is going to break down his opponent.
Well, Chicago cuts it to 4. Take a look once again as Michael Adams puts the Bullets up by 9, 45-36, tying their biggest lead.
Just a great block from Purvis right there. Never gives up on it. Here's the transition. Great play.
Phil, maybe you'll get a chance to jump in before Mel usually does with Johnny Holiday here tonight. And Johnny, just for you, we've got an outstanding trivia question. Who is the only man to play on an NBA championship team and coach in a Super Bowl? We'll give you a hint. It wasn't John Madden.
Well, I thought it's tough, but you got me there.
Oh, he said that one's for you.
Wasn't it for you?
No, that's for you. Yeah,
only man to coach on a Super Bowl team and an NBA championship team?
And play in an NBA championship team.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It's a good one. The answer, Bud Grant. Of course, coached the Vikings and played in the 1950 Minneapolis Laker team that won the NBA championship.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate those easy questions. Adams getting hot now. Michael is hit for his 4th field goal to the ball game, and now the Bullets up by 11. That's the biggest lead of the game.
The key to this lead has been the Bullets' efficiency at transition basketball, not turning it over, making the wise decision.
After a quiet beginning, Michael has scored the last 6 points for the Bullets. Foul spotted against Eccles. And that's Khalid Ellis' first, and Michael Jordan to the Chicago line. Bulls trailing by 11. You know, we talk so much about what he does on the court, but Michael certainly sets good examples for young people. He was talking about his favorite subject in college being math. Was your favorite subject math?
All the points he scored, I guess he has to be good with numbers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, if he can get the message across to the young people of America how important it is to do math. And there's one in Kensington, Maryland, probably watching this game named Maura Holiday.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
What's your point across?
The door will be locked when I get home, believe me. Jordan gets 2 at the line. Hits it again. That's a 3 from Michael Adams. Now he scored the last 9 points for the Bullets. 50-38, Washington by 12. King with a runner down the lane. Bullets looking for. They can't believe the call. Ellison looks like he may be hit with it. No, it's going to be instead on Grant.
Let's see what happens. I still couldn't see if he tripped or just slipped, really. He lost his footing for sure.
Harvey Grant whistled with his 3rd personal foul. King will be at the line, and Grant's going to have a seat. Rick Moreland's daughter is a very, very special young lady. And Alexandria is 3 years old, having a birthday party tonight, and she is watching the Bullets game at home. And her daddy, of course, will be home right after this game. Rick, of course, working here. And we want to wish happy birthday to Alexandra Moreland, 3 years old today.
Happy birthday to you.
Sing it, Phil.
Many more, Alexandra.
Yes, sir. And you got a wonderful mommy and daddy, Alexandra. 50-39. 2:53 left in the first half. Eccles with a runner. Tip by Ellison is good.
Boy, it sure looked like that ball was in the cylinder or on the rim.
I'll tell you what impresses me about the Bullets tonight, Phil, is when Chicago has made a move, they have withstood the charge.
They've responded, no question about it.
Paxson with his foot in that three-point line. And they're going to give him a 2 out of 3. And that's for John Paxson, his first points tonight. Bullets by 11 at 52-41. Eccles having a heck of a good first half.
They're trying to work on Pippen and get Eccles the ball.
Liddell just throws it up. Grant gets it, puts it up over his brother, and the foul is called. But not on, I said Eccles, going to be Larry Stewart.
But you know what? Liddell is the one that's creating the problems. They're starting to pay attention to him. There you see 3 players turning their head towards Liddell. That allows Larry Stewart to slip inside, get that offensive rebound. He has a chance to earn 2 from the line now.
Horace Grant whistled with a foul for the Bulls, and Larry Stewart, rookie from Coppin State, puts the Bullets up by 12.
Larry's kind of leveled off, but he still makes smart decisions out there. Fills the lane extremely well. I think sometimes he gets the lesser end of calls sometimes being a rookie, but
he's still in double figures too.
Yeah.
Here's Jordan, quiet for a while, rejected by Curtis Ellison. They're going to call a goaltending against Ellison. Jordan credited with a basket, and the fans don't like that call.
Well, you need to judge. Yeah, Purvis timing it perfectly. It doesn't hit the backboard. Is it on the way down?
No.
I don't think so.
No way. Ball still on the way up. Ellison back the other way with a left-handed runner over Williams.
We've seen some great individual performances. Liddell, Purvis, Michael Adams.
56-43. Scott Williams out of North Carolina in the ball game. Setting a pick for Michael Jordan. Jordan working on Wingate, just backing in. David trying to hold his ground. Good one-on-one basketball. Whistle and an offensive foul against Chicago.
Good defense from David Wingate. David did not yield 1 inch, stayed with him. This is the block, though. And once again, we get a closer look. Oh, definitely was not going down. It was on the way up. And Purvis had one of those blocks taken away from him.
Purvis 17th in the league in scoring and 7th in block shots in the NBA. And he's got some tonight. Eccles at the line for Washington. 1:17 left in the half. Liddell's numbers, 14 points. I'll make it 15. Only 3 free throws in the second quarter, but that's because Michael Adams has picked things up. But as Phil Chenier said, keep it consistent. This is just one half.
That's right. We got a lot of basketball to play.
And that's been some of the problems the Bullets have faced. Biggest lead, 58-43, is the final quarter of the ballgame. Larry Stewart hit with a foul. That's the second on Stewart. Gordon with 15, and he misses. You don't see that happen very often, do you?
Well, one of the top free throw shooters in the league. Always shoots into the high 80s.
He missed one time tonight. Michael looking for a 6th straight NBA scoring championship. Bullets by 14, 58-44. Double team and Adams. And the Bullets beat it. Less than a minute to play in the first half. Paxson on Adams.
So they want to get that ball in there and let Purvis go to work while he travels. Yeah.
Trying to make the move on Scott Williams.
A little over anxious.
Jordan standing at the right side of the floor, isolated with the Wingate. Oh, good. Scottie Pippen.
Talk about Jordan accelerating and extending himself. You just saw another example of Pippen doing that.
You come to expect that from Jordan, but you don't expect it from Pippen. Nice pass behind the back from Adams. Here is Eccles again, stripped to the ball off his knee and out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball with 13.2 seconds left in the half. Take a look at
move. Yeah, he reverses too and then extends with two hands.
Ellison helping out from the left, and he got help from Eccles from the right, and Pippen with a marvelous play. 12 points Bullet lead with 13.2 seconds left in the half.
Well, obviously, Phil Jackson would like to cut this lead down just slightly, maybe even go for the 3 and get it under 10. But the Bullets, you see West right there telling his troops they played an excellent first half. But you got 13 more seconds. Every little bit counts, so you don't want to have a lack of concentration these last 13 seconds.
Well, the Bullets can go in at the half knowing they have put together one of their best halves in a long time.
So what I like about it is so many people are involved. You've got David Wingate, who has 8, who played a good job defensively. Liddell and Purvis got off to great start. Michael Adams came on in the second quarter. So everybody is doing their part and taking turns and playing a significant role.
And the sellout crowd tonight for the Bullets getting their money's worth.
West is going to get some new players in. He doesn't want people to pick up unnecessary fouls. Purvis is sitting down, and you see
CJ comes in, Stewart comes in, with Turner down the ball game for the first time tonight, along with Adams and Wingate. Here's Pippen. 9 seconds. 8, 7. Stolen by Adams. 3, 2, 1. Shot no good at the buzzer to end the first half.
The pressure from Michael Jordan forced Michael Adams to miss that shot.
Well, the Bullets defense forces Chicago into a turnover. The quick hands of Michael Adams, but here comes Michael after him.
Well, Jordan and Pippen have been looking to really take things upon themselves all night long. The Bullets have used that to their advantage and double-teamed, trapped, and stolen the ball.
So the Bullets led by 5 after 1. They lead by 12 here at the end of the first half. Seventh sellout this year for the Bullets. Here's Grant. Should make it 50, I'm sorry. 15th sellout. Jordan begins the second half with a jumper just before the buzzer hits for the 24-second violation.
I don't know if that's patience on the part of the Bulls or just good defense on the part of the Bullets, but they forced the Bulls right down to the 24-second shot clock on a number of occasions.
And the defending NBA champions having their hands full tonight. Eccles up top. With a miss, and Jordan with a rebound. 8 for Michael. Averaging 6 a game.
Once again, Purvis comes over to help out to make sure that the continuation of Jordan gets blocked and doesn't make it to the basket. David has a piece of the ball there.
What you didn't see, and then Ellison. No, it's not going to be in, or is it? I think it is going to be in Purvis. That's his 3rd. Let's make it 2nd of Purvis Ellison. One team foul against the Bullets here in the second half. Start of the third quarter, and Grant goes to the line for Chicago. Harvey with 5 first half points. I mean, Horace with 2 first half. I'll get them right. They're only twins.
They're identical twins, so you have a built-in excuse there.
Glad they didn't play on the same college team. One went to Clemson, of course, Horace, and Harvey to Oklahoma. Horace gets 2. 58-50. Bullets by 8.
One of the biggest pluses for the Bullets in the first half was Liddell came out so aggressive and looking to score, attacking the basket.
Well, what a nice move by Wingate to get rid of Jordan, but he just can't get the shot to fall. Pippen back the other way, cut off by Eccles. Michael past the screen, set by Cartwright. Wingate chasing.
Good team defense. You see Purvis helping out.
Grant with a foul of his twin brother.
Horace has made a career of getting himself inside for offensive rebounds. Here you're going to see him get the inside position on his brother Harvey and draw the foul. 9 times out of 10, when you're on the back, you're going to get that foul called.
And with that 4th foul, Harvey sits down and CJ checks back in, replacing him with 10:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Grant goes to the bench with 5 points tonight and 4 personal fouls. And Horace, 58%. We saw some numbers up. 1 of 4 tonight, though.
Well, Horace works extremely hard to get himself good position, get inside. Of course, he has 2 great teammates in Pippen and Jordan that also can deliver the ball. Yeah.
But that do help.
Yeah, but don't take anything away from Horace. You've got to make yourself accessible.
Bullets by 7, 58-51. Here comes Adams up for Washington. 10 minutes, 19 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Chicago's won 10 of their last 11 games. Eccles had all kind of trouble getting that shot off, and the call is a traveling violation.
Well, it still like his aggressive attitude. That time he had 3 Bulls coming out defending him.
And Liddell took it right at him. 16 points in this game for Eccles, averaging 20 a game the last 3 trips to the floor. Paxson to Cartwright, backing it on Jones. Jordan now to Pippen, turn around from 10 feet, backs it off the glass. 58-53, and here comes Chicago. Well, Michael Adams stopped that run. He's got 13 now. Cartwright to Pippen. Cartwright sets a screen, Phil. He sets a big 7-1.
They've got that mismatch there.
That's what they wanted. Adams with a steal from behind, but Grant picks it off. Paxson from deep outside, just inside the 3-point line.
Well, the Bullets only had 4 turnovers in the first half. They certainly don't want to get started in that trend. They've got to maintain possession of the ball and keep it away from the Bulls.
Bullets by 5, 60-55. Ellison against Grant. Nice spinning move by Purvis.
Purvis just spun off the pressure that was being put on him by Horace Grant. Nice move baseline.
A heck of a move. 8:53 remaining, 62-55. We're in the 3rd quarter. Pippen with a jumper over the top of the rim and out of bounds. Bullets ball. Ellison was honored at halftime with a proclamation from Prince George's County, read by Donnie Simpson, Phil Jackson.
And every seat had a poster on it stating this was Purvis Ellison night, and Purvis, of course, going for that most improved player of the year, had that mentioned on the posters.
17th in scoring, 7th in blocks, and 6th in rebounding in the NBA. That's good enough for most improved. Grant with a left-handed runner. Cartwright with a follow. No good. The tip comes out to Michael Adams. Around Paxson. Throws up the shot. Oh, you got to take a look at that again for Michael Adams. How do you think Paxson feels after this?
Well, seeing the court, Michael Adams' eyes must have really gotten big. He saw no help behind Paxson. Paxson knew it, tried to give the foul, but it was a little too late. The continuation move of Michael Adams gets him to 2, possibly 3.
Paxson picks up the foul. The Bullets go up by 9. We've got a timeout with 7:44 to go. Bullets 64. The Bulls 55. Of the Bulls' 7 turnovers, Phil, 5 have resulted from Adam Steele. He is really playing aggressive defense.
He's looking for those opportunities. And early on, it seemed like the Bullets were holding the ball a little too long, and that's when he really is tough. He looks for opportunities to slip in and steal the ball.
And Wingate almost came up with another turnover right there. Jordan gets his second field goal in the third quarter. Michael's been quiet. He's got 20. 65-57. Jordan's high against the Bullets was 40 last February.
The Bulls have made a switch. They have Jordan on Liddell now, and Pippen's on David Wingate.
Pippen cuts off Wingate. Adams passed a nice screen set by CJ. Fires up the long jumper, missed everything.
Had to get it off. Plus, he had to loft it a little higher. That was Cartwright who challenged him.
Jordan from outside. That's a three for Michael Jordan. His first from three-point range, 65-60. The Bulls now close to within 5.
Well, in the first half, you mentioned before, every time the Bulls made a run, the Bullets seemed to do something to respond and get themselves back on the right track. Let's see if they can do that here.
Liddell Echols hits the jumper, top of the key. Liddell now with 18.
Probably the most important part of the game right now is going to be David Wingate and how he tries to shut Michael Jordan off.
Well, Jordan taking control now from the deep left corner, 67-62 Bullets.
He's doing it a little differently than he tried in the first half, though. He's doing it off the ball. That time he popped over a little pick and got the nice shot down.
Echols penetrates, throws up a runner. It's gone. Echols really rising up to the challenge. 69-62. Jordan began the game 4 for 5. Then we went 1 for 6 since that time. He is 5 for 6. 25 points for Michael Jordan. Wingate trying to stay with him. And he stops his dribble. And Pippen from the right corner. 16 for Pippen. 69-64 Bullets. Paxson knocks it out of Adams' hand out of bounds. Bullets get possession back.
Michael Adams a little upset. He thought that Paxson may have used the body to cut the lane off.
Paxson talking to Adams. They've been drawing the entire game. Offensive foul. Well, it's against Wingate. That's 2 on David, away from the ball.
And that's a turnover as well. I didn't see how
I didn't see it either.
I didn't see that.
Michael Jordan now with 27. And West calls a time to talk it over. What do you do, Phil?
I tell you, Jordan really looking to play and score, and he's doing it in the off-guard position. He's moving without the ball. That time Pippen was the one that got the assist. You know, he's so tough. You've got to respect Pippen and his ability, so that leaves David Wingate pretty isolated for that split second. He turns his head. And, you know, that's an area that sometimes you don't recognize with Michael Jordan, but here's a guy who is so good with the ball, but he knows how to move without the ball. He knows how to set his man up, make him turn his back, and take advantage and capitalize that way, too. So just the
court awareness,
everything. Just an overall all-around player for you.
Of that man's 27 points, you're looking at 11 have come here in the third quarter. We still have 5:07 to play in the third.
And do you remember just a few minutes ago you said Jordan only has 2.
Only has 2 in this quarter. Shooting in the third quarter, Chicago 8 of 12. The Bullets have only missed 4 shots, 5 of 9. But their lead is now down to 3. Ellison to David Wingate. And Wingate is fouled. You can take your pick. Was it Cartwright or was it Scottie Pippen? Cartwright whistled with a foul. 12-year veteran from San Francisco. Picks up his first in the second team.
Well, Cartwright's in perfect position. He steps over to close the lane, but he makes the mistake of reaching in for the ball, and that's where he picks up the foul.
David Wingate's numbers. David's first point of the second half. He has 9 in the game. 70-66. Bullets go up by 4 again. 71% his numbers from the free throw line.
David, the month of March has really done a much better job looking for offensive opportunities to score.
Wingate picks the ball out of the air for the Bullets. Gets the pass from Adams. Releases to Eccles. Deep left corner line. Drives it. No good. Rebound Grant to Michael Jordan. Pippen wants it. Cartwright has it slapped out of his hands by CJ. Chicago with possession. 15 in the shot clock. And here comes Will Perdue back in, replacing Cartwright for the Bulls.
We talked about how deep this bench is starting to develop. Will Perdue getting more experience this year. Scott Williams getting some playing time. DJ Armstrong has developed into an outstanding guard.
Wingate chasing Jordan with help from CJ. Now it's one-on-one basketball. Jordan fires, no good. Ellison tips it up. Pippen wins that battle. Uses the left hand and draws the foul. Ellison picks up number 3. And that's team foul. Number 3 against Washington.
Well, the game in New Jersey, you look at the versatile Pippen using the left and drawing the foul, but 2 nights ago in New Jersey, even though Pippen had the off night, only 2 field goals, still had 10 rebounds. And he has the ability to do so many things. We talked about he leads the team in assists. He's second in rebounding. And you can see him going over to Purvis, having a few words. May have felt like he got away with a forearm push-off. But he'll still take the free throws.
Bet your life he will. Hasn't missed tonight. 5 for 5 now. To get Chicago to within 3. Under 4 to play in the third quarter. And the Bulls picking up their defensive tactics, a little trapping in the backcourt. Wingate to Eccles. Got it. 22 for Liddell tonight. 8 of 15 from the floor.
What else is Davis getting back quickly to Michael Jordan?
Paxson free. He drills home the jumper. That's a 2 for John Paxson.
Well, that's how they make you pay. If you're going to double team with Paxson's man, he's going to just flare off to the open area at that time in the corner.
Paxson was 6 in a 3 for 4 shooting night. Whistle before Ellison makes that move to the basket. And the foul is against Grant. And that's number 2 on him. Harris with his twin brother on the bench with 4 fouls for the Bullets. Here's CJ. Eccles with a closer Wingate. Nice fake of a pass. Misses the shot. And Paxson has it go off his foot and out of bounds, but they'll award the ball to Chicago. I don't know, Phil.
A lot of feet over there. It's hard to tell.
A lot of feet. Phil Jackson gesturing what he'd like to have seen done. There's the score. Bullets 73. The Bulls 70. We'll come back to the Capitol Center right after this. Bullets have seen their lead chopped down to 3 by the Chicago Bulls, mainly because of one man, Michael Jordan.
He's really taken things into his own hands, but he's done it under the team framework, and he's so tough to deal with or without the ball.
Pretty balanced scoring. 8 in the first quarter, 8 in the second, and 11 here in the third. Consistent. Make it 13 in the third. 29 for Jordan. 73-72. Bullets by 1. Wingate looking inside to Ellison. And score.
That was just a tremendous catch because he was sandwiched between 2 players and had a third flailing at the ball.
Bullets go up by 3 again. We talk about the amount of points that Michael scores. He's been shooting 54% the last 4 games. His shooting percentage tonight must be incredible. With shots like that.
Not many layups from Michael Jordan. Most of them have been that fadeaway jumper.
15 in the third quarter. The Bulls down by 1. 7 of 9 here in the third. Eccles' shot rattles in and out.
The officials are conferring to try and figure out whose ball it will be.
It will belong to the Bullets on the near side. Take a look.
We can pick it up. Yeah, boy, this shot's really. It could have gone either way. It looked like both players hit it.
Well, they give it to the Bullets. Here's Ellison. He's free. Purdue the rebound off the Purvis miss. Bullets by 1. Chicago could take the lead for the first time since the first half. CJ on Pippen. Fakes Charles in the air. Scotty gets the shot. Chicago leads by 1.
That's the advantage of having 2 creators out there. When nothing's available, you create your own shot.
First lead since it was 19-18 late in the first quarter. Eccles with a follow with 2 hands.
Eccles has been in the right place at the right time almost all night long. He's really worked hard, and you heard him say before that he's feeling a lot better. His conditioning is better, and that has a lot to do with it.
He's got 24. Scottie Pippen with a runner misses, but Purdue is there to follow it in. His first basket tonight. Chicago takes the lead again by 1. Shot clock with 17. Game clock in the third quarter to 36. Wingate from downtown. No good. Pippen with a rebound. Jordan is released, but Scotty didn't see him. Purdue to Paxson in Chicago. Work it down. Jordan, baseline move. Many times you've seen that. Michael gets it back, and he can't hit the easy shot from 8 feet away. 9.6 seconds to go. And a loose ball foul is called, I believe, against Chicago on Purdue.
Well, that's what it's going to get down to, the rebounding and the loose balls. The Bullets are going to have to hustle in that department.
Eccles. Here's Wingate over Michael Jordan. It's no good. Pippen gets it, and that's the end of the third quarter. So Michael Jordan has put the Chicago Bulls on top for the first time since the first half. Chicago by 1 after 3. So Chicago takes a 1-point lead as we're about to begin the fourth quarter, and some of those Chevy stats indicate why the Bulls are on top.
Well, the Bullets continue to shoot well. The Bulls improved their shooting somewhat. Free throws about equal. But the rebounding told the department. Now, remember when we said the Bullets in the first half had 18 fast break points? You can see that's unchanged, and a lot of it had to do with rebounding. The Bullets were out-rebounded that third quarter, 11-3.
Al Koken has been inside that Bullet huddle. What's going on, Al?
Well, Johnny, what Wes Unseld feels is the Bulls are a more tired team than the Bullets. That's why he's bringing some fresh people in there. And he's also telling his shooters, the guards, Adams and Eccles and Wingate, hey, when you guys square up and shoot it, they're going in. We're coming down and taking too many of those one pass and then off-balance, one-legged shots. Move the ball around, but if you got the shot square to the basket and shoot it, that's when you're making your shots. But he really wants to try and stress right now, getting a little run here and thinking the Bulls are tired.
Okay, thanks, Al. Fourth quarter underway. This is the best game that Michael's had against the Bullets in the 3 previous meetings. His best game was 29. He's got 31 tonight. 29, 26, and 21 in the 3 earlier season games. So what, as Al mentioned, with the Bullets getting tired, Phil, that kind of difficult to go back to the aggressive style they used to begin this game. And they really jumped on Chicago.
Well, no, I think what he's saying is the Bullets should have some fresh people in there. That Wes has been doing a very good job rotating his players. The Bulls are the ones that probably should be tired. They've really had to work themselves back, and primarily using Pippen and Jordan.
begins the fourth quarter. He's got 33 now. 80-77. Chicago up by 3.
You can see the Bulls extending their defense a little bit.
And then Jordan comes up with a steal at the other end. Gets past Ellison, takes Smith to the hole. Fouled out front by LaBradford Smith. Well, first Wingate had the task of trying to stop him. That time Smith tried to hold on Michael, and everything he does, Phil, seems to be working to perfection.
Well, the turnovers are beginning to slowly mount up for the Bullets. That time David Wingate made a nice move. Could have been fouled. You're seeing David sit down now, but could have been fouled. There's no whistle, so therefore it results in just a turnover.
Harvey Grant, Purvis Ellison, Charles Jones, LaBradford Smith, and Andre Turner. Wes Unsel's 5 on the floor right now. Here's Pippen. Misses, but the follow is good by Grant. So Harris gets his second field goal of the night.
Bullets have not rebounded, therefore they've had a lot of their fast break opportunities taken away, and they're turning the ball over. That's the difference in these last few minutes.
And Chicago leads 82-77. We're in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes and 36 seconds remain to be played. Here's Turner. Armstrong taking him inside to Ellison. Will he give down the lane? Nice give and go, and Bradford finishes it off to the bucket. 82-79 Chicago. And a whistle. And CJ spotted for a foul. And that on Charles Jones is his second. And the Bullets' second team foul here in the fourth quarter. Jordan with it, and Smith trying to take Michael one-on-one. And
look how low LaBradford is. He won't let him drive on him.
Good pressure by Smith. And good hustle by LaBradford to come up with a loose ball. 2-on-2 break. Turner down the lane. Takes it, uses the left hand, rejected.
They got a loose ball foul on Scott Williams. No question. He had both hands on Andre Turner that time.
So Williams from North Carolina picks up his first as Phil Jackson works in front of the Chicago bench. Here's the foul.
Well, Andre got a little too close and really had no passing lane over to Purvis. I think that's where he wanted. But there you see the hands, both hands on Andre Turner.
Bullets with it, in possession, in the hands of Turner. Chicago by 3. Harvey Grant, back to Turner. Gets free at the top of the key. Now to Smith. Past Hodges, off-balance jumper, no good. Grant with a rebound and the follow. He's fouled as he goes strong to the basket by Scottie Pippen. So 3 on Pippen. And Liddell Eccles, after a couple of minutes of some rest of the bench, set to come back in.
Well, the Bullets are going to make their move into this game. They're going to have to do a couple of things. Number one, they're going to have to shut down the offensive rebounds that we've seen come from the Bulls, particularly in that third quarter. They're going to have to get some offensive rebounds of their own.
Harvey Grant shooting 78%. Line. And he gets 2 to cut the lead to Chicago and only 1. 82-81. Certainly as Phil Chenier checks the clock, the Bullets are doing the same thing. And Horace Grant with a loose ball foul. That's his third.
The hustle of Liddell Eccles made that possible. Really started off on that. Did not have good position for that rebound. He blocks him out, but his ball takes a long rebound. So he has to hustle. He leans back, and then he moves back into position as the ball's coming down a second time. And Horace is called for the foul.
Horace frustrated. 2 for 6, only 7 points tonight. 5 rebounds for Grant. Played at Clemson. 82-81. Bulls lead. Bullets trying to regain that lead. Harvey does it and puts the Bullets back on top. Tough shot, Phil.
Certainly was. He froze just for that minute to keep Pippen on his feet.
83-82. Didn't last long as Hodges comes back and puts Chicago back on top by 1. There's Turner to Bradford Smith. Grant, his shot rejected, but he gets it back, throws it up and misses. Rebound to Hodges. Armstrong, Livingston, traveling violation, whistle against Cliff Livingston.
Scottie Pippen wanted to get that ball to Livingston real quick. He just led him a little too far.
And the Bullets have called a time. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Chicago holding on to a 1-point lead over the Bullets. Book allowed to the Bull players.
I don't know if he wants that book referred to as his book.
I don't think so either. Especially Cartwright. Jordan Rules is the name of it, and some rather uncomplimentary things said about some of his teammates, and they questioned publicly Michael's aim in having such things printed. Here's Eccles. Look at that block from Williams. 7:54 to go, and it's Chicago by 1.
See if we can pick up any kind of foul here. They do a good job of getting the ball in. That was a tough angle. And Liddell just loses control of it. Looked like Jordan may have had a piece of it.
Here's CJ, and CJ goes up, and he is fouled by Williams. Scott Williams off the bench to pick up his second personal foul. 6'10", 230-pound young man in his second year in the league from Carolina. And CJ averaging only 1 point a game. There's only about 4 players averaging less than CJ in the entire league. Now the Bullets are 14 of 15 at the line.
Well, he has gone up, though, offensively.
But his job is defensive.
That's right. And the Bulls, one critical point, the Bulls are out of fouls, so the Bulls will be shooting from now on any fouls by the Chicago team.
For the next 7 minutes and 41 seconds. Jordan has 33. Need I say more?
Well, he's been shooting it real good. Looking for a shot.
7 times he's been over 40 this year. He's got 35 now. 86-83 Chicago.
The Bulls really have been pressuring the Bullets. Really extending their defense, particularly with Scott Williams, the big man.
Here's Hodges. Jordan has it come out right to him. Has such a great awareness, too, doesn't he, Phil? Where the ball is going to come off the board.
You have to have that feel for the ball, that anticipation.
Jordan's got 9 rebounds tonight, and as he goes to the hoop, Jordan is fouled by Charles Jones.
That was a real ugly ball, but he was able to catch himself in time and brace himself. Really, that was his own man that undercut him. That was Livingston.
And Jones got hit with his third personal. Phil Jackson halfway up, almost to half court, calling his team over. We got a timeout with 6:46 remaining. Chicago leading by 3, 86-83.
He's the one that's starting the action. He's going to be the one to take the legs out from Michael Jordan. Tough call.
Jordan went to the bench during the timeout, rubbing his left elbow, but he's all right, and he's back in there. His right elbow. Michael Jordan tonight with 35 points. 19 in the second half. But certainly the Bullets, having led by as many as 10 and striking distance now, within 3 with 6:41 to go. Look at that quick move. My goodness. And the foul is called on English, and Jordan just turned on the Jets.
Well, one thing you've got to be careful of, when you lean on a player, he can feel that pressure. He knows where your weight is leaning, and he can counteract that by spinning around you. That's what Jordan did, and you see A.J. getting him on the arm. Not many people have been known to block Michael Jordan's dunk shot.
Jordan 16 of 27 tonight. Look at that move and the graceful flight through the air. How many times have you seen that? But he misses at the foul line. He's now 4 of 6. 37-point night.
Getting ever so closer to that 40-point night. We've said that when he scored 40 points or more this year, the team is 4-4.
And Jordan playing both ends of the floor. 10 rebounds. He's on the move. 39. You talk about taking over a game. Wes Unseld summons David Wingate off the bench. Chicago on an 8-0 run. To lead by 7 with 5.5 to go.
Not much you can do, but maybe try and pick him up from end to end and keep the ball out of his hands.
A.J. English with 8.
Watch the back door.
That's what they were looking for. English heard you. Stepped in front of him, and A.J. looking for some help. But it takes it the whole 41.
The players out here sense that Jordan is just really taking over. And I think they're playing a little cautiously, maybe even a little scared. Right there, A.J., and he's calling for help. And you've heard Michael Jordan say on a number of occasions, when he gets that feeling that the defensive player is at his mercy.
Michael Adams over talking to Wes Unseld in front of the Bullets bench, kind of shaking his head in amazement that what are you going to do? What can we do to stop it? That's the way to stop it. Get him to the line. He's missed his last 2. 7-point Chicago lead. Adams, here's English. Pulls up, and Jordan is there. And I think Michael picked the hitting from behind and picked up the foul. That's the second on Jordan tonight. 41 points for Michael Jordan.
Showing the all-around player that he is. Remember, one-year defensive player of the year. He's been given respect for his defensive ability as well.
A.J. 4 for 4 from the floor with 9 points. First time at the line, gets that one and gets his second shot. And even though Jordan has a spectacular night with 41, the Bullets only trailing it by 5. Gets defenders in the air, hits the open man Paxson. He misses. Jordan almost came up with a steal. Here's Michael. Adams. DeGrant. 92-89.
It's still a close game. Got to find a way to keep the ball out of Jordan's hand, or at least cool him off.
Williams now to Paxson. Here's Pippen. He's wide open. Eccles quickly gets up on him. English trying to handle Michael. In fact, English holding Michael, trying to dime the basketball. Jordan got it.
Down.
With 1 second on it, he didn't make it. They wiped the basket away.
Well, they really waited a long time to get into it. I thought maybe Pippen was a little too conservative by passing that open shot. There was only 8 seconds on the shot clock at that point.
First half, Jordan was 6 of 12 for 16. The second half, he's 12 of 17 for 25. 92-89, approaching 4 minutes remaining. Eccles with a run. Eccles' first points in the fourth quarter. He's got 26. 92-91 Chicago. Bullets on a 6-0 run. Pippen from 18, no good. Grant out to Paxson. He fires a brick off the glass. Caroms out to Eccles, and the Bullets can take the lead this time down. And they got it. Boy, just when you think the Bulls are going to pull away, the Bullets come back and they lead by one. 3:43 left in the fourth quarter. Bullets 93, Bulls 92. Back in a minute.
On in the NBA, on the Washington Post scoreboard, the Knicks up by 6 over Milwaukee in the fourth, and Charlotte by 1 over Philadelphia. One thing I heard quickly in the Bullets huddle telling A.J. English, Wes Unseld, was, don't worry about it. He scores on everybody. Just keep playing him tough, and telling his Bullets, hey, you guys can win this game.
Thanks, Al. When Michael scored his 6th straight point at the 8:48 mark in the fourth quarter, Chicago led by 7. Last 2:05, the Bullets on an 8-0 run to take a lead of 193-92. 3:24 left. Jordan from the right baseline. He draws the foul from England. Third and A.J. and Michael back to the line.
A.J.'s working extremely hard to deny the ball. In fact, he's been getting very physical with Michael Jordan here. But no question about it, gets him on the forearm. And the Bulls, who are concentrating, getting the ball into the hands of Michael Jordan, are having to take a lot of time to do that. A couple of series ago, the 24-second shot clock had elapsed on him.
Jordan has missed only 3 times tonight. He's got 42 points in this game. Chicago ties it at 93, and Jordan will try to put it up by 1, and he does. .43 for Jordan. And I thought your 63 or something.
Tough shot. This is a great game.
95-94, no question about that. I'll tell you, Phil, I see a night like this with Jordan scoring 43 points, and I have all the more appreciation for your night of 63. Another foul is called on A.J. English. That's number 4 on A.J. Doing everything he can do to keep Jordan away.
Watch the left side. Now, I thought they could have called an illegal defense. Watch Michael Adams drop back there. That's an illegal defense right there. They swing it, but they called the foul on A.J., getting a little too aggressive in denying the ball.
And Jordan back to the line again. Now he's got 44.
Wes, I'm sure, wants to keep A.J. in the game because of his shooting. He's perfect from the field, shooting perfect from the free throw line as well. He's got to force A.J. to guard Michael Jordan. And that's a big task.
Now he's got 46. He had 46 against Milwaukee back in November. He had 40 the last game for the Bulls against New Jersey.
Oh, nice play. That time it's full to Michael Adams making the lob. They swung the ball quickly. Purvis sealed his man and had an easy, nice lob from Harvey Grant. Well, they find ways to try and isolate Jordan. Well, they've got the Bullets defense stretched out that makes it that much easier to access the offensive boards.
Grant with a bucket for Chicago, 98-97, 1:49 left in this game. Bulls leading it by 1. Eccles inside to Ellison, turnaround before he gets the shot, he's fouled. Purvis goes to the line. Scott Williams picks up the personal, number 3 against, or is it on Jordan? Let's see. Oh, it's on Williams.
Watch this play now. Purvis has his man picked, but he can't get the ball from Michael, so they swing it quickly. He holds his position, has a clear lane to the basket. Bullets have been passing the ball really well.
And Ellison at the line for the first time tonight. 16 points and 7 boards for Fergus. Working at a 20-point a game average. 98-97. The Bullets can tie. And Ellison misses. Pippen with a rebound. 1:32 left in this game. And you ask, where is Jordan? The right wing with it. Thinking, had lost the ball in the paint, knocked away. Jordan reaches in, scraps for it, and he's on the floor and comes up with a tie-up with jump ball with Jordan and who?
Well, it's going to be either AJ or Liddell. We'll see. Bullets probably would have been better if they had kept that ball alive for another few seconds. The shot clock was down to 4.
But a change in the point total for Jordan. Jordan credited now with 45 tonight. So his 46 against Milwaukee is his season high, along with 46 against Cleveland, February 17th. Eccles tries to save it before it goes out of bounds, but Chicago gets the ball. 1:18 left. Bulls by 1, 98-97. Well, Phil, we ask at the top of the show, as you look at Wes Unseld, will this be the night that finally Michael Jordan has a good game and gets hot against the Bullets? I think the question has been answered.
It's been answered. Certainly the hottest he's been that we've seen here. We've mentioned that his biggest scoring night was 40 points against the Bullets, and that was, of course, last season at a 40-point night, but he's surpassed that now. But certainly this is the most aggressive we've seen him look for his own shot, and this last quarter his teammates have been really looking to get the ball into his hands, almost to the detriment, because we've seen several times them wait till the shot clock was winding down and then get the ball in his hands, and he's had to rush a shot a couple of times, but that hasn't affected the outcome.
29 points here in the second half from Jordan.
What a game. But I'll tell you what, I'd like to recognize the game and the performance and effort of Liddell Eccles. He's 11 for 21, perfect from the free throw line. He has 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He's doing a tough job himself, and also in doing all that, he's still having to match up with Scottie Pippen defensively.
And he's got 28 points.
Here's that last, well, not the last one, earlier in the third quarter. Dunked by Michael Jordan when he just spun around A.J. English. He's so tough. He's got so many moves. He can kill you from the outside. He can drive. He can pass.
Okay, Al, let's go to Al.
Okay, Johnny, the obvious word from Wes Unseld, we've got to stop them here, and we've got to do it without fouling. Now, when we get the rebound, says quickly look up court, get it into Michael's hands, and telling Michael Adams, hey, if we've got the break, go ahead and take it. If not, they want Michael Adams to come across half court and call the timeout to set up some strategy.
Thanks, Al. Eccles with 28 tonight. That's 2 more than he had against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he's really been shooting and scoring well.
Saw David Wingate trying to really fight through that pick.
Michael Jordan with 47. And the Bullets quickly stop the clock and call a time. They're down by 3 with 1:09 remaining. And everybody in the house knows who's going to get the ball.
You got to know it. David Wingate has to feel lonely in this situation. They clear the side for him. He does what he can, but Michael Jordan is a special player. Michael Jordan felt he got fouled. Has a few words for one of the officials as they continue. There he is, giving him the old evil eye.
And you have seen, along with Phil and I, a season high for Jordan with 47. It's not over yet with 1:09 to play. 8 in the first quarter, 8 in the second, 15 in the third, 16 here in the fourth, and he's only missed 1 shot from the floor, 6 of 7, 47 points. Not forgetting 10 rebounds.
Throw that in too, right?
How many steals and assists? Boy, he is something. But even despite the 47 points, Bullets are trailing it by 3.
Well, they've got to obviously get themselves in position. They may take a chance for a three if it presents itself, but I think that with this much time, West realizes that they've got plenty of time, and they look for the good shot, look to score.
Well, the hot hand belongs to Eccles with 28. Michael Adams has been somewhat quiet tonight. A couple of Bullet fans talking it over, suggesting who should get the ball. Timeouts left. The Bulls have 1 plus a 20, and the Bullets have 2 full timeouts. Eccles and Grant, Adams, English, and Ellison. Paxson, Jordan, Pippen, Williams, and Horace Grant for Chicago. Minute to play. Bulls by 3. Adams trying to go to Ellison inside. That play didn't work.
Well, it was set up right, but the only thing, Purvis found himself a little bit too far underneath the basket. Really had no room to maneuver. Good steal.
And Eccles anticipates the pass to Pippen and picks it off. Adams, Harvey Grant, Eccles, English shoots over Scott Williams and rings in and out, no good. And a foul against Ellison. That is his 4th. With 33.4 seconds to play. Here's the foul against Purvis.
There's Purvis in the middle. He's getting screened out by Jordan. And they call him for coming over the back. Michael Jordan takes the trip to the free throw line.
And a chance to get his 48th and 49th points of this game. He has missed 3 times tonight at the line. A hit on 7, 8 of 11, 9 of 12 now.
Just thought of a good trivia question. How many arenas has Michael failed to score 50 or more points?
How much time do we have? Jordan with 49, and Chicago leads by 5 with 33.4 seconds remaining. That's his high in the NBA. 61 twice he scored against Atlanta and Detroit, and 58 against New Jersey. Tonight, 49. 102-97. Adams to Ellison.
Purvis obviously doesn't feel good about shooting the 3. They've got to get in quick.
Inside. Ellison has it rejected by Jordan. Michael got a hand up on it. 16 seconds to go. Chicago leading it by 5, and Jordan fouled and a chance to go over the 50-point mark tonight. English picks up his 5th. 12.7 seconds remaining.
The Bullets, it looked like they were looking for the 3-point shot. They couldn't position their players anywhere behind that line, and had to settle for a shot inside there, but then mishandled that and really didn't get the good shot that they wanted.
Well, that's number 50 for Jordan. (103.97).
It's got to be tough. Michael Jordan coming out, getting the 30 or 40-point night, and some people feel like he's supposed to do that. They just take it for granted almost. Even the 50-point night, I'm thinking it seemed like he did it, you know, in a very smooth manner. It wasn't
a methodical approach.
Yeah. But 50 points is 50 points.
Well, as Al Koken said a few minutes ago, he went inside Wes's huddle, and Unso making it quite clear that Jordan scores against everybody. Just keep on hustling, keep on trying to do your job, and he's almost unstoppable once he gets in the rhythm and gets in a roll, as he has tonight. With 51 points, there's just no stopping.
Yeah, and I think he felt the challenge, it seemed like. Sometimes when he's played the Bullets in the past, the Bullets have done a good job against him defensively. But I think also that the game has not been he hasn't been needed to be called on. And but tonight, Pippen not having one of his better nights, not a bad night, but not one of his better nights, and some of the other players not contributing offensively. Jordan really looked to get the ball in his hands and do the job.
Since Purvis Ellison's basket, the Bullets led 97-96 with 2:20 to go. Since that time, Chicago scoring 8 straight points. Morris with a 2, then 6 by Jordan. And thus they've got a lead of 104-97. And the Bullets will leave having lost 3 straight. And the Bulls' winning streak will be extended to 8 in a row, 11 of 12, and 6 straight on the road.
And keep in mind that 70-win season is still possible for them. Just take it one game at a time. We're down to 14 more games now.
You know, what's amazing about this team, they've won 28 games in Chicago Stadium, and now this is their 28th win on the road. Pretty fair number. The Bullets will drop to 11-24 at the Cap Center.
Let's see what Michael does here.
Here's Adams from 3. He gets it. Adams has 18, 104-100. Got a foul. They foul Pippen with 2.6 seconds left.
Wes is really kind of upset. He was telling the players to foul earlier. They let some valuable time tick off the clock. Down to about 2.5 seconds. And with that 3-point shot of Michael Adams, we talked about another streak that the Bulls had going, 32-0 when they've held opponents under 100. But he's going to hold them under 100.
At least. Pippen's had a good night too, Phil. 20 points and 10 rebounds and 4 for 4 at the line. Last foul was called on Liddell Eccles. Pippen now to 21. 105-100. Chicago goes to 56-12. Best record in the NBA. Pippen finishes off a pretty good night as he and Michael Jordan got him started tonight. And they'll win it by 6. Eccles' shot doesn't fall at the buzzer. Final 106-100. Chicago defeats the Bullets in a night that you saw Michael Jordan hit for 51 points. As Jordan heads for the locker room, and the fans came to see, and they saw, and they'll leave. And the Bullets gave it their best shot, but they lose by 6.